To me, it's obvious that the French occult Renaissance influenced art at the time. You have the Salon de Rose-Croix. A little bit after that, Dadaists and the Surrealists. The connection can be made because Eliphas Levi, besides being an associate of Baudelaire, and they had actually collaborated, so they're obviously talking about these occult things one-on-one. It's not even just comparing each other's work. There's definitely an embracing of the idea of a derangement of the senses to pull the veil up. That idea of scrambling normal perception so that the veil can be lifted to get to what's underneath, besides being pretty useful ritually, is pretty useful in art. You see it in Rimbaud, obviously, and the influence on the Surrealists in particular, and Dadaists too, before them. The scrambling of the word order, creating nonsense. Or using the unconscious to get past those, a two-reason view of what's going on. By breaking that up, you can get past it, you can lift that veil. That's like Magic 101. Some people get into trouble with it, obviously, if we're implying that there's drugs or crazy rituals to get yourself into this state. How does one keep their sanity? When you're lifting that veil, you don't have the safety of being able to say, well, rationally, this is what you do. This is what the situation is. You're actually playing with your consciousness. But I think the artists were doing that as well, and that's that influence.
We believe that states of delirium and sort of self-induced madness, whether it be from LSD or schizophrenia, which you invoke and make worse. I actually believe that you can strengthen yourself through those things, like putting yourself through it.
And it brings you right back to the politics again, because whether it was a reaction to the Industrial Revolution or it's a reaction to the World Wars or whatever, these art movements all have this influence. The same view sometimes leads to insane results. So the art attacks it with insanity to get it back more of a balance. And again, that can lead you right back to those polarities again, trying to get a balance there. But it can be challenging. Like, I'm always fascinated by the situationists who are influenced by the Surrealists and the Dadaists. So there's your connection. I see punk rock when it was really punk rock. Something that actually was like shocking, trying to break that society of the spectacle.
And I think that with respect to Guy Debord and the notion that happened in 1968 when those few students in Paris took his ideas, turned them into a reality, made the streets their own, and virtually brought down the government de Gaulle, excited us all over here no end.
To me, is like on a large scale, trying to break up the order of things to lift the veil, to get people to wake up. I think when you get to someone who pushes the boundaries of what's allowed, and shakes things up, it can be very much effective like that. And I'm not just talking about musicians that use ritual or use magic. I think there's something magical that does that just by being challenging enough. Scrambling the stimuli to try to get to another place, whatever word you want to call that. I see people intentionally doing it, and I see people unintentionally doing it. I see people who do it like ritual, like a technology that I would love to see more people do, and I see some other people that just do it naturally. And I would interview people who do it naturally, but can't really tell you what the hell they're doing. But I think that's brilliant too, and I would want to talk to them just because I think if listeners hear about them, they'll see what I'm getting at. I could think of people that are clearly ritualists, whether it's, like Throbbing Gristle, some of them are ritualists, and then Current 93, they definitely were ritualists. Death in June, they're ritualists. But like the Swans, I see as ritualists, though I interviewed Jara and he said he's not a ritualist. You know, I'm not a ritualist. I don't see any occult going on in what I'm doing at all. So I still interviewed him with me basically saying, I know, but I think you are. You know, because it satisfies what I think it should be, which is immersive. It's music, but it's more than music. It challenges anyone listening to it to decide whether or not they're going to passively listen to it, or it's assaulting them, or it takes them someplace, if it lifts the veil.